Hello everyone, thank you for tuning in. Again, this is another premiere, not a live, so because I don't trust my internet connection at all at the moment. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make this elegant keepsake box. This measures 6 by 6 and it's 2 inches across there, so there's plenty of room for letters and postcards and photographs, just little things. And it's a really nice sturdy box, and it's got a magnetic catch which I'll show you how to add later. For this one I've used stamps and paper from the Simply Elegant suite in from Stamping Up, and I've used gold leafing on the decor and some of the Simply Elegant trim. Now, for the sake of time, because this is quite a complicated box, I'm not going to be doing gilding in this video. I'll be using some of the paper with that image on it, just as a slightly different look. Now, the measurements and written instructions you'll find in the comment description box, so you'll be able to easily get written instructions to construct the box. And I'll cover gilding flakes in another video because that takes quite some time to explain on its own. So if we get started, I will show you how to put this lovely little box together. Right, first of all, what we need to do is cut out our paper stock. So moving that to the side, and get all the bits and bobs ready to put together. Now, what did I do with my trip? I actually put the thing away. That has to be a first. Ooh. Right, I don't want that one yet. Okay. Right, first things first, to do the main part of the box, you want a piece of A4 card, and you'll just cut that down to 6 inches wide. Okay, and keep that because it'll be useful for something later. Then you score it at, making sure that you score it at 6 inches. And then score it at 8 inches. So you've got 2 inches at the bottom. So this piece here will be the front. Okay. And then this piece will attach to the top. So you just want to press the edges down. But before we put this to one side, we want to make a little mark here. No, we'll do. So that measures, just see what this measures. This goes up to 3 3/4. So, because you want, this is obviously isn't long enough, so you're going to want to attach another length, so you've got the rest of the flap coming over. So you want to also cut the second piece to 6 inches across. Right, so both bits are the same. Then for this bit you want to score at, right, 1.5. actually just under 1.5, because this bit's going to fold in, and if you cut it at 1.5 it's going to be a bit too tight. So you've got just under 1.5 to give you a little bit of margin. Then at 3, then at 5, no, we wanted that longer, we didn't want that at 5, we wanted that at 5.25, because I'm silly and I forgot I need to make room for the cat, but don't worry, I make these mistakes so you don't have to. Right, so 5.5, so that's just under 1.5, 3, 5.25, and then lining that up at 6, because remember you've got that at 3.25, because you don't want this big bit down the back. You just want enough to attach that at 3. So how did I work this out? Right, so I want that at 6. Right, easiest way to do this is to lay it so that score line meets that one. Come on. Okay, lay it so that score line meets that one along the edge, meets the cutting. Give you your 6 inches, and take a pencil to mark your line, trying not to get in my own way. So there you go, and then you'll want to cut that at, call it 3/4 of an inch. So in total this measures just under 8 3/4 inches, because otherwise there's going to be too much bulk at the back. Now that piece can go somewhere else for the moment. Okay, and then you want to score your edges, or crease your edges, just give them a nice press down, because that will make life a lot easier for you to sort things out later. Right, that flap is going to be the front of your box, and you're going to want to touch the magnetic catch there, right in the middle. So what you're going to do is about 1/2 inch in from the top, and 3 inches in. You're going to want to put a little mark. It's probably easier to use your scoring tool for this. So there we go, and that will tell you where to put your magnetic catches. So press there and there. Okay, and you want to do the same on the wrong side here. So you line that up there, that's the 3 inch point, and So you want the centre of the magnetic catch to be there on that side, and that will help you to position it so that the catches meet up nicely, and because that's going to be laying like that across the, it'll be folded in and sitting like that when the box is finished, and that'll be set out like so. So a bit like that, it'll wrap round. Okay. Next bit is we want the DSP. It's so much easier to do this in this order. Right, so we know the front of the box is 6 inches, so we want enough DSP to cover the front of the box. So you want that at 5 7/8, so you've got a nice narrow edge around the side, because we're not going to be matting this on the front. There'll be enough strength inside to support it. So this is 5 7. You want this to be 5 7/8 by 5 7/8, and you're going to want just the one of these. 5 7/8 by 5 7/8. Okay, keep this bit to one side because we already know that that's the right length for the other bit. Now we're going to be doing the magnetic catch first. Let's pop that to one side out of the way. And the reason we're doing this now is because we want the magnetic catch to go through this. And it's just easier to attach this first. I think because that flower's right in the middle, I'll turn it that way. So that's going to be the right side of the box. And then get me glue. Okay, you don't need a lot because this acrylic glue, a little bit goes a long way. You do have to be quick and make sure you get it on straight first time, because otherwise you've got no wiggle room and then it's on the squonk forever. Okay, there we go. Okay, right, I'm going to let that dry nicely for just a moment. Okay, and on the back you'll get your squashy mat. It's easier to do that, and this is where we add the magnetic catch. Right, these come in 2 parts. You can't get these from Stampin' Up, but they're reasonably cheap on various craft websites. And they are just marvellous little gizmos. So I've got the back there. Okay, sorry about the blip. My overhead camera decided to freeze and I had to restart. As I was saying, you've got 3 parts to these catches. You've got the front, this part, which will be attaching to the main body of the box, and the back, which will be attaching to the flap. Now, I'm going to show you how to attach these, and the easy way to do it is this. Right, so you've got both parts. Okay, so the best way to do it is actually to, so that's going to be folded in that way, so you want it to match as much as you can there and there. And the best way to do it is to line it up just so. So your marks are like that, and you do not want to push this through or try and push them through, because these legs are not strong enough. What you want to do, I think I'll use the bit where I've dotted, is line the two pieces up and just press the legs hard enough that you dent the paper just over that centre point that you've marked. And that will match up. So you've got that bit there. This is like a washer, and this will help to fix where your lines go. And for this, it's very fiddly, and unfortunately I can't really zoom in on this very well. So you get a craft knife on your paper and use that to pierce the paper, because that'll give you a nice slit in each side. Minding your fingers, and that'll help make sure that both clasps marry up and you've got it in the same place. See, nice holes there, and you've got holes there. Then you take the front of your clasp and push the legs through where you made those holes. Oh, come on, go through. Yeah, because the legs to these are quite thick, but they're not sharp, so you will not be able to push it through the layers of paper, no matter how much you try. And all you'll do is end up frustrating yourself and bending your paper too much. So you want to give it a tap down the legs with a hammer. Sorry about the noise, but you want to do it the opposite way that you would have grabbed. So the front of your clasp wraps over like that, and that will be on good and tight. But you need a solid surface, and then give it another little tap down to make sure it's good and tight at the back. See? So shiny. I love this paper. I will be absolutely devastated if Stampin' Up discontinue this paper. Right. So there. Now we've got this side to attach, and that is going to go through the back here. Oh, for goodness sake. Go through. Trying not to bend your paper. Then you get your little washer and slip that over the legs for a little bit of extra support. That will stop the paper from tearing on the flap, because this is the bit that's going to be going under pressure when you open and close the box. So come on. Come on. Bend it over. Now give it a tap. Right. Now you've got your catch sorted out, and you can glue that over and you won't see the back. So we'll do that now because it will give it a nice chance to dry. Plenty of glue, making sure you've got some around the edge there, because that's going to need plenty of pressing down, otherwise it's going to bubble up on that edge. So here we go. Give that a good press down. Now don't worry about seeing the catch on the other side of this for the moment, because once you've got the lining in, you won't see that. Okay, there we go. We have the opening flap. Okay, next stage is right. So we know that the box is 6 inches wide. We want to decorate the flaps and everything, put as much DSP and everything on before we construct the outside, before we construct it as possible. So we're going to be using smoky slate for the lining again, because it complements the silver nicely. So what we want is to make sure that this is, we need 2 pieces of 5 7/8 by 5 7/8. We actually need 3 of these, so 5 7/8 by 5 7/8. So we've got the lining, the 2 pieces there for the inside and the outside lining, and we want another one. So we want 5 7/8 again there. We want another one for the back, because that will add strength to the box. So we will need 3 pieces of that. Oh, itchy eye. Put that. Oh no, I can still use that bit. So we know that that is 2 1/4 by 6. So we can use this piece. We want that at 1. That's 5 7/8. So we want this cut down to 1 7/8, because we know that's 2 1/4. No, we want this at 2 1/8. 2 1/8. Because this is going to stick to the inside of that piece. Now you could probably run this through an embossing folder. You can add decoration, but this piece here is going to be sticking to the inside of the top of the box for decoration. So it's not really going to be seen. You can add decoration if you want to, but it's really not necessary. So we'll line that up on the inside of this, so this will stabilize the top of the box. Okay, then that's the inside bit. We want another piece the same size, well, actually not quite the same size. We want this to be 5 7/8 again. And then actually I think we'll do that one at 5 3/4. and then we can do that at 2. So we've got a bit more of a black edge around the outside. So we'll stick that down. Because it's just easier to do the decoration while the box is in situ. So we want that bit there, and so it's nice and central. So that bit we want 5 3/4 as well. But we want a piece that is, if that's 1 1/2, we want that at 1 1/4. Oop. Move that over here. I probably shouldn't be gluing on my trimmer, but it makes life a bit easier when you're working with black cards, not to try and show stuff on a black surface, because otherwise you guys can't see what I'm doing. So we'll pop that nice and centrally in the middle there on that bit. So there's our top flap. Now, what did I do with that other bit of DSP? I'll put that there. Is that the 5 7/8 bit? Yeah, so we want that down to 5 1/4. Well, that one was 5 3/4, wasn't it? So we want that down to 5 1/2 of the DSP. Okay, we'll use that little strip later. So that's 1 1/4, so we want a 1-inch strip. Oh, I shut that too soon. A 1-inch strip on the opening flap. So that can go there. Oh, move it so you guys can see, because there's no point me doing it there. Okay, there we go. Right. Ooh, so shiny. There we go. There's that opening flap. Open it up. So we want another piece. Now that's 1 3/4, so we want that one to be 1 1/2. We want that bit to be 1 1/2. Oh goodness, I'm getting in my own way. I'm going to have to move that mouse. Oh. And then we'll pop this ooh, that's me paying more attention to the screen than what I'm actually doing on the thing. Right, so that leaf is pointing that way, so ideally we want the top to mirror the bottom. There we go. A bit wider at the top than the sides, but it will still look pretty. So there we go. So there's our lid put together. Okie dokie. And then, just so you can see how it looks when it's all put together. So we've got that stage now. So shiny. Love it. Love it. Right. Your next stage is, now what did I do with that line? Right. Again, you're going to want to unclip the front carefully at the moment because you've not got much stability on this side. You will do once we've got the lining together. So where you've got your joining line here to this piece here, now it really doesn't matter which way up you do this because you will not see the join. So whether it's front to back or back to front, in the front you won't see it once the other piece of cardstock is on the back. Plenty of glue because you want it good and stuck. Now using your guideline at the back, you want to just pop that on there. That line we drew, that's what this is for. Just helps get the join nice and straight. Sorry. And then your pieces will go together nice and neatly. If I can find the catch. There we go. Nice and neat. Right. Next stage, open it up again because this needs a little bit more strength. So that's where this piece of smoky slate cardstock comes in. On the back. Just so it's good and stuck. Because remember, this box is meant to be kept and we're going to want it nice and strong. There we go. And this will leave room to do any stamps you want. So you say you've got your Stampin' Up stamp, and if you're putting on a market or a sticker, now's the time to do that bit. Because it's a lot easier to do that before you put the box together. Alternatively, you could just do it on a sticker and do it and stick it on that way. Okay then, right. I don't think I put that together straight, but it's straight enough for the moment. Okay, next stage. We need a piece of Right, so this we know is 5 7/8. So that is exactly the right length that we need it. But we need this, we need a piece of 1 7/8, 1 7/8 at the bottom. Okay. This is going to be the bottom of our lining piece. I'll put that to one side. Okay. So we need 2 pieces at 2 7/8. Two and 7/8, 2 pieces at 2 7/8. Right, because these are going to be our sides. Right, and we want to score these at 1/2 inch on 3 sides. So here we go. I score that 1/2 inch on 3 sides. How are we doing time? 22 minutes already. I'm trying to keep this video down to under an hour for you, but it's quite a complicated box. So where's my small skitters? There we are. And just nip the corners off, like so. Nip the corner off. And give the edges a nice press down, pinch them over. Right, pinch that over like so. Do you know what? I might have time to do some gilding. I do have copper flakes, which would look absolutely stunning. I'll see how long it takes for me to get the actual box constructed first though. Right. Okay. So now we've got the parts of our lining sorted out. What we need to do is get some more of this. So that's going to be 5 it's just under 2. So 1 3/4. Oh, it's come out of its groove. Lost its groove. So 1 3/4 there. And then that's going to be 5 1/2. So we want that 5 1/4 for the DSP on that bit. 5 1/4 there, just to make sure they match. These little bits can go in the bin. There's absolutely no point in keeping these tiny little skinny bits. Okay, again, it's far easier to fix these to the sides while it's not a single box, because otherwise you've got nothing to press down once it's come into contact. Right, So I'll make sure that that flower is nice and even at the top. So we'll make that fine. Okay, a little bit more at the top and the bottom, but it'll be pretty. Okay, I might have to turn that down a bit. The heater's getting a bit warm. I'm getting a cooked bun. So it matches up nicely. Oh, I might turn that round so the flowers are at least the right way up. I want the sides to match as much as possible. And just a little bit of the grey poking out, because the main feature is this gorgeous paper, isn't it? Right, next stage. Done with the trimmer for the moment, so let's get that out of my way. Alright, for the lining, now we're gluing this to the inside of these pieces. And the reason for this is we want to hide the tabs on the inside so they're not showing. That will also add to the stability of the box, so you want to stick these pieces together so the tabs are all on the outside. Now don't worry about that, because that's going to be going inside and it will be hidden by the main structure of the box. So dab a bit of glue on there. This is also a far easier way of making sure the sides of a box are nice and straight. Right, so again on this side, put a line of glue along there, bring in one of your 5x7 bit and 5x7, right there, 5 and 7/8, so nice and straight along the score line, like so. Then again on this side, again on this side. So that meets up there. So you've got a nice seam-free invisible joins on the inside of the lining. So, and I know there's going to be a gap at the bottom. Don't worry, that does have a purpose. That gap, because it's on the inside, it doesn't really matter, but it makes it a lot easier when coming to fix the lining to the bottom of the box to press the bottom into place. Right, so bend that back. And give that a nice press down, making sure all the corners are flush, and give that a nice press down as well. So we've got the edges all nice and pressed, and the next one is this one, which is going to be a tiny bit more difficult, but not much, because I've done that on the wrong side. Never mind. What I'm going to do is I'll just turn, doesn't matter, I'll just put glue on this side as well. This is what happens when I pay more attention to the camera than the... Right. And it doesn't matter at all, because that's going to be stuck to the inside of the box too. So you will not see that. And that's not quite straight. So, in order to rectify that little mishap, I'll make these mistakes so you don't have to. But that is a fixable problem, and like I said, it doesn't matter because it's going to be glued to the inside of the box anyway. Okay, next stage. We've got your lining put together, which includes your sides. So we now need to fix that inside this. Okay, so this bit, you need to make sure you get right up to the edges, and rather than trying to get it central to that whole back piece, what we want is to ensure that the bottom edge of this meets the score line. Okay. So we want it to fit inside this bit. So using your score line as a guide, and the edge of the actual box to line it up, and give that a press down. Sometimes helps if you lift this bit up to meet the edge. Okay, got a bit of glue there, grab that off in a second, and then making sure it's nice and neat over this edge. Okay, next bit. So you've got your corners meeting up side by side there. Now this is where this gap comes through. Don't worry about that. It serves a very useful purpose, and you'll see what I mean in a minute. So you apply your glue to the bottom piece, just to make sure it's good and stuck down. Then what you want to do is stand it up, and then you can easily get... Now what did I do with my ruler? What did I do with that? I had it somewhere. Was it up there? Well, if you don't have a ruler to hand, there's always the good old trusty bone folder, which means you can get under that gap like so with your bone folder and give it a good press down. It's a lot easier doing it that way than trying to get down inside the box. And I knew I'd measured that back bit wrong. I'm so flustered about my video cutting out. I measured it wrong. Right, but it doesn't matter. The slight slant on it can look quite effective. Okay. Right. A nice swig of tea because I'm getting a little bit of a dry throat. Oh, lovely. I've got that boy well trained. I've also got the husband well trained. But okay. So we have that bit. Now it's this bit, which is slightly, you're going to have to be slightly more delicate about, but it's the same principle. Apply glue to the lining of the box, not the flap, because you're going to have a little bit of an edge over, and you don't want glue splodging everywhere. But you do want to make sure that this bit is good and fixed down. The other good thing about doing a box this way is because your tabs for your sides are glued on both sides, that means they're good and in, and they're not going to be slipping out, and it gives you a nice tight seal. So you want to be quite careful about the initial press. And then you can get in with your ruler, your bone folder, and press it down that way. Yeah. Press it down there. Oh, Outlook, go away, Outlook, go away, Outlook. Telling me to do the dishwasher. I know the dishwasher needs doing, but I'm doing this now. Right. Okay, now you might want to pay a bit of attention to the top of this bit here, because where the clasp is, you'll get a tiny bit of bulge. So you'll want to press down on that bit where the clasp is a little bit harder, just to make sure it's good and stuck. Otherwise you'll get a bulge. But you see what I mean? Nice invisible tabs. And you wouldn't even know there's a gap at the bottom. And that's all lined, and your clasps are nice and tidy. Okay, there we go. Love it. Right, and I'll show you what it looks like once it's closed. If I can find the clip. There we go. Nice and neat. Bit of a slant on the top, but that can be quite effective. Now we get to do the pretty things to the front. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to leave that to dry over here, and I may have time to do some copper gilding. Stampin' Up don't do copper gilding flakes, but they do gold gilding flakes, and the principle is exactly the same no matter what you're doing, what flakes you use. So what we want is a piece of grey. Now, I had a piece of grey somewhere. Where is it? I think it's strolled off to the same place my ruler went. Just found my ruler. I'm being such a numpty today. Right, let's put my craft knife away because I don't need that. Now, just as a bit of a contrast, I'm thinking we can use the back side of this paper to emboss and to do some gilding on the side to make it look like that, which is basically what I've done here. I've used the other side of the foiled paper to create a bit of a contrast band and then stamp the sentiment on a label using this punch. Now, I know this looks longer and it's got the curly bits at each end. I will show you how to do that. That is a fantastic punch, and long may Stampin' Up keep doing it. Okay, so what we want to make sure, this needs to be trimmer. Okay, we don't want it too wide, but we do want enough room to, ooh, I'm dropping things, do our stamp. So that needs to be about, about 2 inches. Just say, let's call it 2 1/8. So we've got plenty of space. We don't want too much either side, because otherwise we'll lose the pattern. Okay, that's 2 1/8, and we want this at 5 7/8 again, because it needs to meet this bit. Okay. Oh dear, morning. Sleepy. What's about? Cheeky puff. Break myself up a bit. Right, for this, because gilding is a messy job. I'll do the copper ones. There they are. And you want your embossing buddy, and you want your clear pads. I've got my heat tool here, and you need your heat and stick powder. You can get this from Stampin' Up, and if you follow the link to the instructions, there's a shareable where you can easily find this. Love this stuff, it's so much fun to play with. You basically, brilliant stuff. Okay, so the same principle applies as embossing. Give that a nice going over with your embossing buddy before I stop. Now, embossing powder is different from gilding powder, but you still don't want to get it on your hands. So the best bet is you need a nice soft paintbrush to apply it, and a slightly stiffer paintbrush to get rid of the excess. Okay, leaving the lid on that, because you don't want the lid off those while you've got your heat tool going. Okay, open that. So get this good and get your stamp good and coated. because we're doing 2 of these, I'll be able to show you twice how it works. I want this out of the way because I need a solid surface with these stamps, because it's a red rubber cling stamp, not one of the photopolymers. So if you've got too much give underneath, you still don't get a good impression. Make sure I've got that there. Right, I think what I'll do though, I will grab that quickly with my tweezers just on the edge, so I don't pick it up and get fingerprints over it while I'm applying powder. Right, so I think I'll have it. So this stem is down in this bottom corner. Make sure it's good and coated. Right, and again, when you take your heat and stick powder, that's out of the way. Give that a good old sprinkle, tap it off. Okay, put your extra powder back in there, put the lid on, getting that out of the way of the heat tool, which I've got here. The speed is of the essence. I'm going to get that open but sat on top. Right, it's a lot easier to get your flakes and everything sorted, because you're going to want to work fast once this is melted. Get it warmed up a bit, glowing, just till it starts to go clear. Right, so you've got a slight shine on it. That's when you need to get working with your flakes. So, ooh, come on. Get that good and coated in the pot before it dries, so everything's stuck down. Right, it looks a bit messy now, but that's where your stiff brush comes in, and you just gently go over the stamped image to remove the excess, like so. And you'll have the added bonus that the slightly stiffer brush will also give the gilding a little bit of a polish up for you. There we go. Brush that down. There we go. Oh dear, what are they fighting about this time? So I'll put those edges back in there. Oh, and I've actually managed to miss the tub. Okay. So, just in case, I'm going to give that another bit of a rub up, because we want more at the top. So this mirrors, and I might put another one there so it's coming in from Right. Get this good and juicy again. So we have plenty of clear ink on it. And again, because we've got the stem coming from that corner, we want it coming from this bottom corner. So it meets up in the middle. Okay. That'll do. Just pop the lid on that gently for the minute. Break down with that. Can put that away for the moment. And heat and stick powder is there. Gently tap off the excess. Come on. Put the lid on that. And then warm up the heat tool. Not too long, because otherwise you will actually, all you'll do is you'll set the thing. So you don't want too much heat on it, just until it goes shiny. Then get this good and coated with the embossing with the gilding flakes. Just go over it nice, and don't worry about being too careful just now, because what we need at the moment is coverage and getting it stuck down before it sets. Okay, right. And again, we take that over to one side. And you get your stiffer brush and gently go over, brushing off the excess. Like so, and giving it a bit of a polish up. Go on, that little bit just doesn't want to come off. Okay, brush that off, and there we go. We have our decorative piece for the front of our box. Okay, what should we do now? Pop those away, make sure the lid is on good and tight. It's definitely easier to decant some of your gilding flakes into these. I've just used a washed up Chinese takeaway tub for this, because it gives you a bit more space to thing, and I can just a couple of pinches from my main tub. I've still got most of a tub of copper left. Oh, and I just adore copper. It's so pretty. Right, so now we want to attach this to the front here, and we'll ideally get it about halfway between the edge of the box and the clasp. Oh, sorry. There we go. Now how pretty does that look? Yeah. Right, where's my glue? So I want to get this filmed and ready to go, because Strictly's on later, and I do not want to miss it. Not when it's the quarter final. Yeah, have it that way up. I'm going to pop that there about halfway between the clasp and the edge of the box, just as a little bit of a decor to sort this out. Right, next I think we need some sort of sentiment label, don't we? Okay, and that will just poke out underneath. Okay, next, right, what we need is a strip of card. Now, should we use smoky slate or should we use basic black? I think we should stick with the smoky slate for a sentiment. Now, I was sure I had another piece of smoky slate cardstock that was wide enough. Clearly do not have to hand, so I will go down into my little drawer of bits. There we are. Okay. What we want is to cut this to 1 3/4 inches wide. Where is it? I think we'll do slightly shorter sentiment, so we'll use it. Is that basic grey? Is that smoky slate? No, that's grey granite. What am I talking about? That is not grey granite. I want that bit. I know I had a bit somewhere. Does help if I use the right grey cardstock. Otherwise, that would have been embarrassing. Right, so we want it about so long. Give a bit of space for curly bits. So if I cut it to there, then you want it cut to 1 3/4 inches wide. Okay, because that way it will fit under there. What you want for your curly bits at the end of your tag sentiment is, I'll put those bits of grey granite away in a minute. You want enough of scope to get that in, like so. Come on, wiggle. It might take a bit of a wiggle. Come on. Because sometimes it can be tricky to get the edges under. Come on. Need nice sharp corners, otherwise it's not going to work. Okay. This is a bit of work. Try again. It worked the other day. Ah, there we go. So we want just enough to punch the details in the tag, that in the top of the tag, that end. And then we do the same again. Just slide it through the top like so. Give it a bit of a, it might need a bit of a wiggle. Come on. Ah, there we go. Get it nice and straight, using the edges here as a guide for getting it straight. And clip. So now we have a lovely shape here for our sentiment. Right. I'm done with that now, so I can close that, put it away. Right. But to decorate that, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to stamp the sentimenting and emboss that with copper, but I'm going to use the lacy stamp here, so that can go back in there to just, oh, I need a bigger block. Decorate that tag. And just for that, I think I will use my tuxedo black memento for that bit, just so it looks nicer. Right, get your tuxedo tuxedo black memento ink and make sure it's good and juiced up and covered. Okay, put your lid straight back on because it will dry up really quickly if you don't. So I'm going to stamp that so we want to get as much of this on as possible. But leave space for the sentiment, because we just want it decorative, a little bit of a lace overlap. Oh, there we go. So nice delicate tab, and then so that'll go that end, and I'll put a little silver bow or something there, and it can sit like that, because I think it gets a bit lost there. Plus that gives us the 3 points of decoration to look at on the thing. Right, let's pop that to one side and give that stamp a clean before I put it away. I don't think I'm going to be using that one again today. That's the scrubby. Give it a good scrub, get all that ink off. Okay. Right. Next stop is I think what I'll do, because I'm doing it there, I want to have yeah, I think so. Let's see if that fits. Yeah, I think I'll use that one. Life has changed for you, but my love and support never will. Okay. And we are going to do that in copper embossing powder, because unlike it's difficult with small text to use the gilding flakes. It doesn't really work as well. So I'll put that away and go back to the small stamp block. That'll do. Give that another. I'm going over with the pound, the buddy, because I don't really want to lose too much of that lovely lace. Oh, there we are. There's copper, and then I want that again. I think I'll pop this up on dimensionals as well. Get that good and inked. Oh, I've got that on the skunk. I have as well. I've gone and got that on the skunk. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dry that. I didn't have that. And I can fix this. I'll show you how to fix it. It's so easy. What I'm going to do is get some smoky slate ink. I'll do a bit of ink blending, then I can try again with that clear and actually get it straight, so I don't have to redo my lace, because that's just annoyed me now. I've now got my finger in the ink pad as well. Yeah, just a bit of ink blending. Cover up the squonk text because it won't show through. And we've got tone on tone. I can fix it. I'll make these mistakes so you guys don't have to. Right. Right. So now we've got a bit of a gradient, a little bit of shading. It'll be interesting, but these things are fixable, and I really didn't want to have to restamp that lace. Right, we'll try again with the other bit. And this time I'll attempt to actually straighten it up. Put that back in there. Let's try and line the bottom of the stamp up with the bottom of the label, and I might actually get it straight this time, because that was properly squonk. Right, there we go. It's really not playing ball. I'm going to have to redo this completely, I think. So I've got that. But I'm not sure how well. I may have to redo this because it is not. Because even though I went over with my embossing buddy, it did not seem to do much. But we'll see how it is. I might have to redo that label entirely because I fluffed it. Yeah, I'm going to have to redo that entirely. I'm not happy about that. Let's try that again, shall we? Right. I'll do the sentiment. Let's do the sentiment first. Need more tea. Need more tea. Yeah. I've fluffed that. I've fluffed that entirely. It did not work. So, that's how not to do it. Let's get it right this time, shall we? Right, and cut that down to 1 3/4. Then we'll do the sentiment first at one end. Oh, I'm not happy about that edge. Not now, mother. Let's try again. I've got to. Come on, why is this not working? There's nothing blocking it. This is just being awkward now. Ah, come on, I got this earlier. Why is this not working? Right, let's press it down and see if that works. Ah, that's better. Right. Now, what I want to do is get this filming. Right. What I want to do is... Oh, have I done the baggie? Oh, constant interruptions. Tell people, leave me alone until I say something. And the phone rings and no, not now. Right. So we'll do that. Right, that's nice and... Try again with the copper embossing powder. See if this actually works. Because I was not happy about that. I've got a little bit of a shadow there. Brush that off. Right. Now I can put this back in the pot. Put the lid on that. Oh, how did I manage that? There we go. And then I want heat tool. Right, there we go. Oh, missed a bit. Okay, so now we have our sentiment that actually fits and is straight. So I'm going to try again with the lace stamp, which I put away in the box. What did I do with the box? There. I put the box there. I put the box there. Right. Stick that back there. And then I want the black ink again. Oh, nearly dropped it. Scrapped. And then there we go. Rustic label. But I'm going to put a bow, a silver bow, and cover that bit up a little bit, I think. Because if I put it there, it's going to cover that up. This is, it's just not plain ball for me today at all. Too many things going wrong. I'm certainly not going to try with that label a third time, because it's annoying me now. Is that running low? I hope not. Mind you, I do need to order, because even though I put my demonstration order in and remembered catalogues for next month, I managed to forget the celebration books for January. So I'm going to have to put another order in anyway. So I may well have order another bottle of the Stampin' Mist then. And there we go, that's up away. Now what I want is my dimensionals, the larger ones. Let's put that there, put that there. God, dismiss. Oh, come on. Keep getting Outlook shouting at me. Really don't need Outlook shouting at me. Right, there, 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 there. Ooh. I'll use that one there in the middle. Just bung it in the middle. There we go. Okay, just pop it up on dimensionals, give it a bit of a rise, a lift, so it's not flat against the box, because this sort of thing, sometimes you want it on display, don't we? So I'm going to angle this so it's nice and central between the two flowers, but that bit of lace is there we go. And then I'm just going to where's me silver string? Here we are. Right, this is a clever bit. This is something I learned to do in Team Craft Along the other day, of how to do a nice tight double bow, and it works wonderfully well with this stuff, which is the Simply Elegant silver trim, because this is notorious for not staying tied up. Right, so what you do is you grip your loop there, come up behind that finger, down behind there, back up there, and like so. Right, so you've got your tails. Where's my scissors? Right, making sure you've got enough of a tail coming down, then round, that way. Nope, come on, and poke that through your fingers that side, and then you want to tie a knot, being careful not to tie it too tightly around your fingers, because otherwise you'll never get it undone. Then you want to tie a knot like so around the two loops and get it good and tight. Oh, for goodness sake. It's fiddly. It is fiddly. And then put it nice and tight. Okie dokie. Right, make sure any slack's taken off, up, so you've got a nice tight bow knot in the middle, and then finish tying it off like so. Okay. Then you use a little glue dot. Once you've got it off your fingers, of course, because otherwise you can end up with your fingers tied together, which I apparently have managed to do here. Give me a moment. Right. I've managed to tie my fingers together. There we go. So, there we go. And there, the tails of your bow lie nice and flush. And we want a little glue dot just there. Where did I put my glue dots? I put them away. Again, this is a first. So you stick your knot to the glue dot. Pop it over the lacy bed at a bit of an angle. Oh, come on. It's just got to work. It might be easier to give it a pinch on the inside. I'm using silver ribbon trim because it matches the leaves in the thing. I'll give that a squash down, and then I'll trim your ends because you don't want the tails to be too long, do you? And then we'll get some, I think I need some silver faceted gems. Where have I got those? They're in this bit. Which aren't, because you can get the faceted gems from Stampin' Up. I love them. Right, I'm going to stick one there. I'm going to stick one up there. And then another one of the same size. I'll put that one there. Just so it all matches. Because I don't think the gold would work, and I don't have copper. So just the silver and the copper to mimic the shiny bit in the paper. And there we go. We have our decorated elegant keepsake box. Again, the instructions on how to construct the box will be linked in the description below. Please feel free to join my crafting group and share what you've made. I'd love to see what you guys come up with. I really would. And there's a link to my crafting group, the Craft Bunker, in the description box below. So feel free to post pictures to the group, and I will see you guys next time I do a video. Thank you for tuning in again, and I hope you all have a lovely evening. Okay, bye bye. Oh, and if you like this video, don't forget to give it a like and share it around. Okay.